Well, the long anticipated and awaited arrival of my Skydio is finally here. Got it on Friday, and we're going to do a quick look at this thing coming up next, so stick around. Welcome to Rough Riders. If this is your first time here, thanks for stopping by, and if you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. My name is Jay Taylor, and today we're going to take a look at my Skydio 2. This finally arrived on Friday. So if you've been following my channel, you know about back in October I did a video on the launch and announcement of the Skydio 2. I did a couple of videos on that. I shared why I thought this was such a groundbreaking video in the drone space, and why I thought this drone was really architecturally different than anything else out there, and how important that architecture is into the capabilities of what this drone can do. And so if you haven't seen those videos, I'd encourage you to check those out. I'll put the links in the upper right corner. But you know, it finally arrived. I ordered mine back in October, and it took a while. It was a long wait. And so we're going to find out if this thing is really worth the wait, and if it can do the things that it says it can do. And so I thought I'd make this quick video on this drone, kind of show you what comes in the drone, plus what are the extra accessories that I ordered. And we'll take it out and do a quick test out in the field and see how it does. So let's first talk about what comes in the drone package that you order. So the drone is $999. You basically put a $100 deposit down, and then you pay the balance when you get your ready to order email. And so it's $1,000, and what you get for that is you get the drone itself, which is this guy right here, and you get this. It's actually a pretty nice case that it comes with it. You get one battery. You get an extra set of each of the props, just one extra. You get a cleaning cloth. You get a cable, and you get a charger. And that's what you get for the $999. Then you have to, in order to fly it, then you've got to either order the controller, the beacon, or both. And so, you know, I went ahead and ordered my accessories as well when I placed my order a couple of weeks ago, or about a week ago. And I picked up the remote controller, which comes with a little USB-C cable. It also comes with one if you've got an iPhone, the lightning cable. I picked up 2 extra batteries, and then I picked up a dual battery charger. I wanted to get the beacon, but they were out of stock of the beacon thanks to the coronavirus. Some of the component supplies were delayed, so I won't be able to order the beacon for another few weeks to a month or so. So as soon as I get that, we'll do some testing with that as well. But those are what I ordered extra. And so all in, I've spent right about $1,500. And this drone, as I said in my other videos, has the potential to be pretty impressive. And that's because architecturally, like I said in the other videos, is that it's a different animal altogether. And this thing has lots of processing power and lots of potential for updates to improve it with new features and new functionality and all that kind of stuff as they go along, which I fully anticipate, because they're kind of operating kind of like sort of like a Tesla model, where, you know, if you ordered the Tesla Model 3, pre-ordered that, and got your Tesla, a year later you're still getting updates that make that thing better. It becomes a better car over time, and I think that's what's going to happen with this drone. It's going to become a better drone over time as well. But let's take a quick look at this drone. As I said in the video, in my engineering video, there are actually 6 cameras on this. There's total 7 cameras. There's 3 4K cameras on top, and then there's 3 4K cameras on bottom. And that creates a 360-degree sphere all around this drone, so it can literally see every direction at all time. It creates 3D maps of its environment so that it can do object avoidance. It does subject tracking. It can track up to something like 10 or so subjects at one time. And so it's supposed to be this really great drone for action-oriented, sports-oriented people. As you know, with my channel, most of my content is off-roading related, camping related, outdoor stuff. I do some car repair and some product reviews, but the bulk of my content is action-oriented kind of stuff. And so this became a really appealing drone for me, because if it can do everything that they say it does, then there isn't a better drone on the planet for subject tracking, object tracking, and all that kind of stuff, object avoidance, autonomous flight. And so I think that was really important in my decision in getting this drone, and that's why I'm sharing this with you guys, because if you're an avid off-roader, if you're an avid skier, if you're an avid backpacking, hiking, all those sort of action-oriented sports, surfing and stuff, this could be the right drone for you. Now, there are some limitations, and Skydio does talk about that on their website. So it won't, for example, avoid telephone wires and power wires. It can't see something down half an inch in diameter. So it has to be larger than that. It doesn't do well over water, especially if that water is still and not moving and there isn't a rough surface, because it can't make out, can't separate its reflection from, and the reflection of the sky and all of that kind of stuff from everything else. And so they say don't operate over bodies of water that's greater than 30 feet. So, there are some limitations for that kind of stuff, but this little drone has a lot of potential. In the case, you can see the case is about the size, it's a little bit bigger than a ream of paper in terms of thickness and everything else. And so it's very small, fits in a backpack and all that kind of stuff. You've got the battery is a decent sized battery, as you would expect. And one of the interesting things about their design is that it's magnetic. It just snaps in place like that and pops out. So there's no mechanical latch or anything like that holding the battery in, but it's a really strong connection, right? You really got to kind of pull it apart. And so, it's the construction, the quality of this is really good attention to detail on all the seams, on the props, the way the motors are mounted and all that kind of stuff. The cameras, everything is really, really tightly manufactured. So really impressed with the manufacturing of the drone itself. The controller, this is a controller they just sourced, but then they run their own software and stuff on it. And I've only had it out a couple of times, so I can't really comment on how good this controller is. It seems okay. Feels like a game controller. The one thing I don't like is the mechanism for holding your phone in place is crappy. The phone just wants to slip out. The phone lies flat against this piece. If they would have crated it to sit at more of an angle so that the phone tucks down in here a little more, that would have been a much better design. But it's got a little lip, I don't know if you can see that right there, that holds the phone in place, and it's not great. So I'm going to have to figure out something to improve upon that. But you've got your typical joysticks for maneuvering the drone up, down, left, right, rotate, all of that kind of stuff. You've got your camera controls here where you can zoom in, zoom out. Then you can tilt the gimbal up and down on the drone, and then you got a couple of snap buttons for taking pictures and photos and all that kind of stuff. So pretty basic controller as far as that goes. The dual battery charger is fine. You do need to have a greater than 90 watt power brick in order to charge both batteries at the same time. Otherwise, if you just use, for example, their supplied charger, that it will only do one battery, and then when one battery is charged, it'll flip over to the other one and start charging that one. So it does them sequentially if you don't have a big enough power supply to do both batteries at the same time. But it is capable of doing both batteries in parallel with the right power adapter. So that is a quick look at the drone. Let's take it out into the field and let's see how well it does on the subject tracking. As I said, I don't have the beacon, so I won't be able to do any sort of testing with that. But we'll get it out there and we'll see how it follows around. I've got one of my neighbors that has agreed to come out and help me with this because my bike has a flat. So he's gonna meet me out there, and we'll see how well it follows him out in the field. So let's take a look at that. Okay, so there you have it. It seemed to do a pretty good job tracking him throughout the field. I was changing the location of the drone's positioning in relative to the rider throughout that entire process. So I was putting it on the left, on the right, out in front, out behind, and it seemed to adjust pretty good. It wasn't always in the perfect spot, but you know, I would credit that to pilot error. Because I'm not, like I said, I'm not a drone guy, so you know, there's still a lot I've got to learn about piloting these things. But overall, I think it did a really good job tracking him. Now, in that field, there was no objects to avoid or any big trees or anything like that. I wasn't comfortable, given that I've only had this thing 2 days, putting it into some high object tracking or object avoidance areas right now. So we will be doing a lot more of that as I go further in time and get more comfortable with the drone and understand its capabilities more. We'll also test out the beacon. We're going to test out a lot of the shots because it comes with a lot of pre-made shots and everything, as far as various drone shots and cable cam shots and rocket shots and vortex shots. There's all sorts of different stuff that it can do out of the box. So we'll capture some of that as well. And we'll test all that out. So do stick around, because I plan on making a lot more videos of this drone, and understand as I learn the capabilities of the drone, I'll turn those into videos so that you guys can see what this thing is capable of. But there you go, there you have it. If you like this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up and subscribing as always, and help me grow my channel, guys. And we'll do more. All right. So thanks for watching this video, and we'll see you next time.